columnist on GB News, with Isabel and Martin Daubney. Here's what's making the front pages this morning.
The Sun leads with the Lions of Arabia as Captain Harry Kane vows to lift the nation when England take on Iran later today.
Here's the Mirror. It's all about hope and glory as England take the knee, and they wear pride armbands.
And the Daily Star asks, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Super Kane, as the England striker hopes to bring the trophy back to England.
And it's World Cup fever for the Mail as well. They have the shock claim that the UK could seek closer ties with the EU as well, with their headline, "Don't Betray Us on Brexit."
Meanwhile, the Telegraph covers both of those stories, as well as the cost of the pandemic for cancer sufferers.
So that is how your front pages are shaping up. Let's go inside the papers today with the former editor of the Daily Star, Dawn Neeson, and the Olympian Chris Akabusi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Back to you as well, Chris. Nice to see you again. Dawn, let's start, shall we, with the Sun, Lions of Arabia. See what they did there.
Yeah, I did. It's very clever, wasn't it? Yeah, who'd have thought? Right, well, finally, the papers are getting involved in the World Cup. Normally, this would have been going on for weeks in the build-up, and it's just today that the papers are done it. I think there is that wariness for all the titles about how much support do they show to this, what has to be said is one of the most controversial World Cups that I can ever remember, and probably in history. And also the most expensive, 195 billion, because they had to build all the stadiums from scratch because it's not a footballing nation. In any case, the Sun are doing what red top tabloids are putting us to do, and do the rah-rah thing. This is a brilliant picture of Harry Kane. But the story is this, whether to wear the rainbow armband, obviously supporting LGBTQ++ rights, and Harry Kane is determined to wear it, as well as the entire squad taking the knee, and I think the Welsh team are going to do the same. Now, the problem is that the Qatar has said that if you do this, that can be an offence, a footballing offence, and you might receive a yellow card for it. Might. I mean, in theory, it might not happen, but they have said that. And obviously, if you get a yellow card, then you get that booking, and then you make a stupid little tackle, or you wear their armband again, you get 2 yellow cards, you're out, you get a red card, and the third game England play is against Wales. Yeah. So in theory, both teams could be playing without their captains if they insist on the armband and the taking of the knee. So, I mean, look, this one, you know, of course you do want to get behind our teams out there. However, there is just so much controversy. You know, if you're a woman, it's very difficult. Obviously, the LGBTQ+ community, and I can't get my head around those glittering stadiums that they're all sitting in and cheering on the players. Cost 6,500 lives. I'm sorry, I think that price is too much for this. Football, it's not a footballing nation. I personally don't think it should be played there. And Isabel, I missed my first ever World Cup opening ceremony yesterday, and I went to the hairdressers.
Did you?
I did the girl thing. I wasn't going to watch it.
Yeah, washed your hair instead.
Yes, I paid someone to wash it.
Yeah, no, I know.
Because you know, the way women are treated in that country. Yeah. Personally,
it wasn't shown though, wasn't it?
It wasn't shown, and I saw quite a lot of people on social media with mixed views on that. It was a sort of political decision by the BBC not to. My question in all of this is, how has the world changed so much since 2018? Russia hosted the World Cup then, didn't they? They've got a dreadful human rights record. Was there the same amount of clamour and political condemnation from the BBC and others? Obviously, we weren't at war with Ukraine, with Russia at that point, but they had already invaded Crimea, a long track record of human rights abuses. We had Winter Olympics in Beijing as well. It's not the first time a sporting event's been held in a country with dodgy morals.
No, and again, I think this is where we actually show our sort of two-tone, two faces here, because there's so many things that we do around the world with dodgy regimes when it suits us. So, like you said, you know, I actually wrote down a whole... Tommy Smith and John Carlos, remember in '68 when they did their political statement? Now, I was a young boy then, I was 10 years of age, and I didn't know what was going on, and I was in the children's home, and they tried to explain to me about the racism that was going on. 72 Munich, do you remember 72 Munich? Where there was
10 years before I was born, so...
Oh, sorry. Oh, dear. but it was all stark with the Olympic Games. We had these blank seats where the Palestinian organisation, not the PLO, but a Palestinian organisation had gone in and killed some Israelis. Moscow, I remember Moscow, that's my sort of Moscow and LA. politics and sports really don't mix very well, and you know, the effect can be traumatic. Now, I'll be much more impressed if these guys were taking a knee and having the armband and therefore really missed the game. If the penalty was that England really didn't play in the World Cup, that they actually walked off the stage, that all the biggest nations didn't go, then I'd be much more impressed. But wearing a band, no.
Well, Harry Kane might get a yellow card for that, and if he wears it twice, then that means
but the word might means that it won't happen.
You don't think it would happen?
No chance. But it'd be great if it did. So if Gareth Southgate, Harry Kane, and the English team really believe in this, take the hit. Okay. If they say 2 strikes and you're out, go out. Then we will see what we really mean about it.
Yeah, and what would I suppose you level that accusation at Gary Lineker as well, who has been criticised? You've chosen this story inside the Mirror, page 6 and 7. If you really do have objections to it, don't take the gig. Don't cover the.
Yeah, well, so I don't. No, because I'm on the other side of the fence. I'm thinking we do business with these guys every single day. They're big banks whose major shareholders are Qataris. Big retailers, major shareholders with Qataris. One of the weaknesses of Western capitalism is that we will sell our values and our morals for money. There's a statement in the Bible, which I used to read a lot, where the root of all evil is money. And you see it in such, we sell our souls. And so why would you have a go at these footballers?
Well,
because if the Olympics was there, I'll go there.
But I think actually that's a key point, and that is why I think it is different about Qatar, because selling your soul for money is what happened at the start. When the tournament went their way, there was this huge stink around the fact the World Cup basically had been for sale. Yeah. And it shouldn't ever have gone to Qatar. No. And it was all about money.
Exactly.
That I think is the key difference this time around, because it's like this is sport for sale by countries who want to whitewash their national image, and that's what's happened.
That's exactly what's happened with Qatar. I mean, and changing the whole timing as well, playing it in the middle of the domestic winter season here. It's ludicrous. But the Mirror, Chris's choice here, has gone on the fact that the BBC did not show the opening ceremony and instead gave us basically a political lecture on why it shouldn't be there, but here we are, we're all getting paid a lot of money to be here and talk about it because we are raising awareness of the human rights issues. Look, you need to be pretty stupid if you're not aware of the human rights issues in that country. I don't actually need Gary Lineker, 1.3 million, to lecture me on the problems women have in that country.
But you don't have the same problem with Harry Kane. You don't feel like he's lecturing you if you're
Isabel, I don't think anyone should be there. Yeah. I absolutely do not think. I completely agree with Chris. You've got to have some. Taking the knee, wearing an armband. You are paying lip service here. That is what's going on. It is not. If you really, really believe that you want to raise awareness of human rights and really make a statement, you do not go.
And here's the way, the footballer, I tell you what, Premier League footballer, because you've got to be out there, the gay footballer, say, I'm gay, I'm playing football, what are you going to do about it?
I'll tell you what, it'd be even better if it was a Muslim gay footballer who was out
absolutely.
there. Because they still face the death penalty.
That's right, they're being terrible.
Well, we've got Muslim footballers in the Premier League, so step up, fellas.
Absolutely. I really hope someone does.
Let's turn our attention to something a little bit less controversial, shall we? Dawn, you've chosen Brexit.
Nobody ever has chosen Brexit, by the way. Isabel, I have been writing and talking about this subject now since 2016. It feels like it's never ever going to go away. So you patiently take your choice with this morning's papers, and which one is this in? This is the front page of the Mail, isn't it? Brexit is there, so half football and half Brexit. It's so controversial. This is the hint that Rishi Sunak and Jeremy Hunt are seeking closer ties with the EU in what is being termed as a Swedish-style deal. Swiss-style deal.
Yeah.
Sorry. Similar. How much I'm really involved in this subject. No, in Swiss-style, which means basically you are part of the free trade area, you're part of the Schengen area, and you don't need visas to travel there. And that is what Theresa May was sort of talking about in 2018. You're looking at me like, you know more about this than I do. And that really led to resignations and the EU saying you just want to cherry pick the nice bits of being the EU. But it does mean if we go to a Swiss deal, then we have to sign back up to the rules and regulations of the EU again, and that's the controversy. Will it happen? Will England bring the World Cup home? I don't know.
No. I can tell you the answer to that. It won't happen.
No,
there's no way it will happen.
No,
it's just even, the Labour Party. Yeah, it's just political suicide, and everybody knows
the Red Wall vote, basically. I mean, they absolutely won the last election because of Boris Johnson and the whole Brexit thing. And if they do this Swiss-style deal, right country this time deal, that's it. It's toast.
Chris, what do you think?
We've got to give Brexit a chance. This short-term view is no good. It's the art of the long view. There was a saying, my parents used to say in Nigeria, power to the people, but only on election day. There was, there was a vote, we're out, get over it, let's work towards making it happen. And it doesn't happen overnight. Yes, there are going to be teething problems and challenges, but the art of the long view, it's a 20-year deal, it's a 30-year deal, but we've got into it and we will get out of it. Give it a chance.
To be fair, Downing Street have said they do not want a Swiss-style deal with the EU. That is not an angle they are pursuing, and they have denied any conversations have gone on.
I love
the suggestion the government is going to do this.
I love the idea of a bit of trading agreements and travelling, but my concern when I voted Brexit was closer military union and economic union and us not being able to vote people out. Well, actually, looking at the last few weeks, we can't vote people out anyway, but there you go. That's a different story.
We don't even vote them in anymore.
That's all right.
Guys, I feel like we're only just touching the surface there. So much to get through with the papers, but we will have more from both Dawn Neeson and Chris Akabusi just after 7:30. Thank you both very much indeed.